drawn to a close in Russia with a dramatic final in which France beat Croatia 4-2 to lift the trophy for a second time. President Macron was in Russia to see the French team's triumph. For President Putin, it was the end of a tournament that gave his country a prominent place in the international spotlight over the course of the last month. From Moscow, our sports editor Dan Rowan reports.
It's a sporting occasion like no other. A fixture with a global appeal that transcends the game. And in keeping with a World Cup of surprises, a final that few had predicted. Russia's put on quite a show this last month, the tournament seen as a public relations coup for its leader. So would this provide a fitting conclusion? France were favourites, and it was the three-time finalists who took the lead, albeit fortuitously.
As easy a goal as you'll see.
Mario Mandzukic, whose goal ended England's dreams of being here, putting the ball into his own net. Not for almost 70 years has a country with such a small population reached a World Cup final, but this is Croatia, and for the fourth match in a row, they then fought back from going behind. But then came controversy. Goal scorer Ivan Perisic seemed to know little about the ball deflecting onto his hand here, but French protests then saw a VAR review for the first time in a final. Penalty given, Antoine Griezmann stepping up.
France regain the lead.
These the scenes of celebration in Paris. Then came the tournament's first real lapse in security. Russian feminist activist group Pussy Riot claiming responsibility for this pitch invasion. But it was the football that was providing the real drama.
Paul Pogba has the biggest goal of his career.
One of the tournament's stars, Kylian Mbappe, then becoming just the second teenager to score in a World Cup final after Pelé, France 4-1 up.
France are running away with the crown.
This final had it all, even a goalkeeping howler. But that was merely a consolation for Croatia.
And France are world champions.
France duly adding a second title to the one they won 20 years ago on home soil. Didier Deschamps was the captain then, now just the third man to win the sport's most coveted prize as both player and coach. The party back in Paris, meanwhile, getting into full swing. Russia 2018 will be remembered for the way some of football's top nations struggled to meet expectations, but ultimately one has prevailed.
And we can talk to Dan live outside the stadium in Moscow now. An amazing end to that World Cup final. How do you think we'll look back on this tournament as a whole, Dan?
Well, as you can see behind me, the heavens have opened here at the Luzhniki Stadium in Moscow, but I don't think the organisers will mind too much. After all, that was a great final. It's been a classic tournament, in truth, with plenty of drama, great goals, great matches, some new stars, a gripping final. I think that all reinforces the view that this will be a tournament to be remembered. And of course, it won't be the same again, maybe, because in 4 years' time we go from one of the biggest country in the world as host to tiny Qatar. It won't be in the summer, it'll be in the middle of the Premier League season, the middle of winter. And then after that, the entire format of the tournament changes to 48 teams 8 years from now. So perhaps this may be the last of a kind. I think the organisers will be delighted in terms of security, apart from that pitch invasion here this evening, logistics, transport. A lot of the footballing infamy that Russia had coming into this tournament didn't come to pass. Hooliganism, racism, doping as well. I think there will be concern, though, from Russia's critics at the way that football has cozied up to the President Vladimir Putin and the PR coup that he has undoubtedly achieved here through this tournament. And of course, when all is said and done, though, from the fans' perspective, especially those in England, they will look back very fondly indeed on a tournament when England, of course, reconnected with its public and when football undoubtedly was the winner alongside the President of Russia.
Dan, thank you very much. Dan Rowan, our sports editor in Moscow.